Not safe for work. People who work in the adult film industry, what is the weirdest, creepiest, nastiest thing you've seen or experienced while working? A friend of mine used to do cam work and had a regular who would pay her upwards of $600 a session to 1. Tie her hair up in pigtails with orange ribbon. 2. Cover the room in orange balloons. 3. Wear orange lingerie. 4. Squeeze oranges over her boobs. Yep. $600. That was a horny Dutchman. Actually had a similar experience as a cam girl. But my bedroom was all white with white cute sheets and bedspread. And this guy really liked that. And he would have bridal lingerie sent to me, and I'd have to dress up in it and wear a veil, etc. Just like a taking my virginity on a wedding night kind of thing. It was weird but oddly cool. He ended up buying a lot of the cute decor for my bedroom at the time on top of paying $800,1200 for this. It was wild. To whoever that is, I'm available. I'll do any other colors as well. My husband used to work on set of filming. One thing that horrified him was seeing how dirty messy it'd get. So many times they'd have to stop filming to clean up poop. And since scenes would often take hours, the smell would get awful. Especially during the summertime. Oh god. I was an adult actor in the mid-90s. We were often in the San Fernando Valley, in summer, in an unair-conditioned warehouse. Let's just say it sometimes got ripe. I'm assuming he worked on such classics as Two Girls, One Cup? It's only smelts the feck why is colon dip getting on the set. Summer. When the shit really hits the fan. This sounds like the director was insensitive to the situation. I don't have any experience in porn, but I do have experience in anal. Now obviously there's even a small amount of shit visible that's no good for porn, so rather than trying to clean as you to surely you just send the actor to the loo to re-clean, which shouldn't take long, as he's already cleaned out, and it's just that a bit more has come down, and then he should probably be good for another few hours at least. Like it doesn't sound like it should really be getting that bad, unless they are not being allowed to clean out in the loo. I knew a guy that did gay for pay. He was offered $2K to take it like a man, so to speak. He was kinda broke so he went for it, but he didn't prep properly, despite being told numerous times to douche and all that. His words. I did it, then hot brown lava came out. Please prep properly. I don't understand why some guys just think they can shove their dick in an asshole without preparing for it first. I've had a guy do that to me once. It was not fun. Dated a girl who did amateur porn and cam girl work. Weirdest thing was how much more people would pay for anything involving assholes. Liking paying up to double what they would for regular. Yeah, like why would anyone pay more to add you to the shot? What was it like dating a girl who did porn? I know I couldn't, but I don't think it's necessary wrong and I'm curious. I can see it. I remember the memes about Ms. Alice for ages because she never showed her butthole, then her sex video leaked. I had a neighbor who used to be a camera guy for an old production company. He said that when anal sex started making its way into straight videos, nobody knew about cleaning up before a scene. Apparently one actor randomly starts screaming in the middle of a scene, removes himself from the actress, runs over to a trash can, and proceeded to pee poop. He and his co-workers affectionately referred to it as poop noodle. Finish redditing today, it was wiener poop. It came out in a thin, long strip. Which is the grossest poop of all. How do you delete someone else's comment? Thanks. I'm going to uninstall the entire internet from my computer now. Alright, to the next thread. You know, I knew clicking on this post was risky. You're going to regret this, I thought to myself. And here we are. I blame myself. Jesus has left the chat. I'm a gay man, I'm well experienced with the anal arts. That said, I still very much wish I had never read this and will drink heavily in hopes to forget it. I'm going to leave out names for obvious reasons, but I saw a well-known male porn star miss a facial, and instead of cleaning it up with a towel, he licked his own semen off of the floor. So here he loaded? Just picking up ma kids. Let's just end the thread right here before it snowballs out of control. It's the floor part that's disgusting to me. Finally some good fucking food. I was an adult actor in the mid-90s. This wasn't me, but a buddy of mine. He was on a boat for a film shoot. He was also high on mushrooms. The director asked him if he would fuck a midget. He didn't want to, so he told the director an absurdly high price. The director met that price. There he was, tripping balls and balls deep in a little person, and somehow, I never found out how, the boat began to sink. They ended up getting rescued by the Coast Guard. I think this may have scarred him. It did make the news, but I tried googling it and came up with nothing. Anything before 2000 seems to be prehistory. Heh. I remember this, and you're right, pre-Y2K stuff on interwebs is tough to find, no metadata, but I was able to scrounge up a blurb on Alexandra Silk's personal website. I vaguely remembered she was on the boat, that gave me the exact date and some other names, places, searchable phrases, and from there I found the LATAM's article. Now I had 3 performer names: Alexandra Silk, Montana Gunn, and Nina Hartley. Then a quick popover, to a name lookup database used to look up videos by performer name, and by using all 3 names at once, I was able to identify the exact title they shot out there that night. Yep, folks, you guessed it, it was Pussyman number 15, Aka Bone Voyage from David Christopher over at Snatch Productions. No, really, I can't make this shit up. Along with Alexandra Silk, Nina Hartley and Montana Gunn, Mila and Joni Black were also on the boat. The male talent on the boat were Nikki, Marcus and Vince. There were others out there. News article has the head count at 16. Scanning over the box cover for science. Nothing about a midget in the flick, but that doesn't mean anything. They could have just been fucking around shooting stuff that could end up anywhere. Locations were and are still commonly used by multiple production companies shooting multiple products and splitting costs. These were all porno partiers getting paid to fuck and party, not necessarily in that order. P.S. Thank you for the gold kind Redditor. Except from LATAM's article. April 19, 1997, 12 a.m. Nina Hartley, an adult film actress, was one of 16 people rescued cold and wet from a sinking 44-foot cabin cruiser in the Catalina Channel off Long Beach late Thursday. I was terrified, Hartley said Friday, recalling the dramatic rescue that occurred after a day of filming off Santa Catalina Island. The last passengers were pulled to safety by Long Beach Fire Department rescuers just moments before the yacht rolled over and sank 11 miles offshore. They were out there in the dark, taking on water for a while when we came up alongside them, said Fire Captain Randy Grimm, a paramedic. Grimm described some of the passengers as mildly hysterical. They had every right to be. No one on board required serious medical attention, Grimm said. Rescuers said that when they arrived, water in the cabin was chest deep and the rear of the boat was sinking as waves 3 to 4 feet high slammed into the wooden hull. The Coast Guard, which dispatched a rescue boat from San Pedro, is investigating the incident. The owner of the boat, identified as Joe Wilbur, told rescuers that he experienced engine trouble and lost all electrical power just before the boat began taking on water. Efforts were being made to retrieve the almost completely submerged boat, which was floating down the coast. The rescue boats got there just in the nick of time, said Hartley. Mentioning another actress on board, Montana Gunn, Hartley said. Most of us didn't know much about boats. But Gunn had experience with boats and knew how much trouble we were in. She was very, very scared. Flashing strobe lights used for filmmaking helped the rescue boats find the disabled craft. They were extremely lucky, said lifeguard Gary Horn, skipper of the rescue boat. This one turned out well. Deeper. Director, probably. Then there he was, tripping balls and balls deep in a little person, and somehow, I never found out how, the boat began to sink. I don't work in porn, but a buddy I have used to work camera for them, and the grossest thing was specialty porn. Evidently it does not smell good when an actor that clearly hasn't showered in a while, then has literal shit mixed in. I mean, it seems a bit redundant to shower before the scat prom. I found out the hard way that stuff is on Reddit. Bleu. Friend of mine did a handful of adult movies. She worked for one of the bigger companies in Germany at the time and said that immigrant porn stars and foreign Eastern European porn stars were treated like absolute dirt. And I'm talking really disgustingly bad. They always had a buffet area way off to the side because the shoots often took 10+ hours a day, and when there were no German female actresses in that shoot, the guys, often dick for hire or free dick, would jizz in on the buffet and piss on some of it as well. Sad part is, they always rehired those guys or used them again because either cheap or free. One time, according to her, they also just beat the shit out of a girl that refused to do anal. These are the stories that fascinate me. As hot as some of the women are in European porn, I can only imagine how shitty they are treated or how many of them are trafficked. It's sad but interesting. But why? I'm assuming you don't have to be a bad person to be involved in the porn industry. Why go through all that trouble to treat a person like garbage? I'm guessing you don't know, haha. It just baffles me why anyone would treat someone like that. Must have been a foul group of people. Man, that's sad as feck, sad face. I've told this story before here on Reddit, but here it is. After all the things I experienced working in porn, this one hit my soul the hardest. I was working for a gay fetish wrestling porn company around 2003 called Can-Am, which also owned a straight fetish wrestling porn company called Matrock. Both companies were owned by a larger distribution company called Marina Pacific, which also owned a gay porn company called Jet Set. Me and my co-worker X, who ended up being one of my best friends, would help out on Jet Set productions here and there, where we met the owner Dave Kroll, like Grohl, who was this overly tanned gray hair, Hawaiian shirt wearing slime ball. Nice enough guy to us, but you knew who he was 2 seconds into meeting him. So back in the day, gay for pay was still very much a thing. Straight men were sought out to do gay porn, and we would have to pump them full of Viagra and have a TV VCR combo with straight porn hooked to an extension cord so that when the guy gets soft in the other guy's mouth, he could jack off and get hard again. Most of these guys were sexual deviants as it was, but the biggest incentive was the pay. $1,500 tops for a scene where you're the bottom. Pun intended. So we're doing this scene where this kid who was a month into turning 18 and still had his braces on his teeth gets fucked by 2 dudes. Kid does well, the dudes coom on him. All is well except the kid comes up to me and X. He had heard from Dave that X directed straight porn for Matrock, and Dave had promised him that X could put him in a straight porn if he did gay porn. Which at the time was the biggest lie ever. Because no one crossed from gay to straight porn. No matter who you were. So me and X had to tell him this, and he starts crying. He goes on to say that Dave was trolling gyms looking for hot straight guys and telling them the same thing. If you want to do straight porn, you have to do gay porn. Then he would make them stay at his house and give him blowjobs under the pretense that this is normal. You want to do straight porn? You gotta pay your dues. I never felt so low in my life. What the fuck were we a part of? Me and X told our boss, who then brought it up to the owner of Marina Pacific, who apparently threw a fit. This wasn't the first time this had happened, obviously, but they had enough. I don't know the details of what went down, but Dave lost Jet Set and the rights to his titles. And we put the kid in a straight porn with 2 chicks. He had a blast. Please be sure to subscribe for more r/AskReddit if you enjoy this stuff.